So Dr. Mei Ling Tam is Assistant Dean and the Head of Academic Development, Singapore Institute of Management. Partners with 12 universities globally to provide transnational tertiary education. Mei Ling works with faculty and program leaders to experiment with pedagogical innovation and champion evidence-informed practices.
When I was a child, I was actually very interested in this comedy teenager miniseries called Out of This World. And this teenage girl has this superpowers to stop time when she touches her fingertips together, something like this. Then she can stop time. I was so fascinated, and I sometimes secretly do that gesture, hoping that I can freeze my surrounding and get work done or escape from a certain situation. So what superpowers do you dream of having? In our quest for problem solving, it is actually very natural for humans to learn. There are 3 economies that the Skills Future Singapore has anticipated or analyzed and concluded that will be very relevant in the next 1 to 3 years. The first one is the digital economy, second, green economy, and thirdly, care economy. Some of us may be ambitious to want to totally jump into the deep water and transition fully outside or pivot totally different skill. But in fact, lifelong learning is about incremental change and looking at what can you do right now and combining with a different discipline to create more value. Jonathan was a column writer and journalist for a local newspaper in Singapore. So when he was 50, he decided to transition out from the media industry to a corporate comms role in a company. So he actually did corporate comms communication within a business environment, but the company did not choose to extend his retirement upon 62. But he is very active and enthusiastic, and he felt that there's still so much value he could offer. And being a great communicator, it was actually very challenging for him to look for a writing or corporate communication role in the traditional businesses, because people tend not to want to hire somebody with so much experience as him. So he decided to take a courageous pivot to do data analytics. I think that was just so amazing when he shared with me that he was able to make use of his skill to develop a model to improve in the healthcare sector, specifically in breast cancer examination. And he had zero knowledge about healthcare, right? So after that, he applied for a job as a data science curriculum writer. So his journalistic background and research still came in handy. Based on this story of Jonathan, I realized that besides knowing what to learn, there's also the other part about how the entire learning ecosystem can actually help individuals to pivot and to continue to contribute to the society and to the community. So you can see here I have illustrated 3 components here in gears because they are interconnected. So first of all, there must be some policy or framework that is already in place. Employers are also able to take advantage of some of this funding mechanism to help their older workers to continue to be gainfully employed within their company and provide that environment for them to demonstrate these skills in a psychological safe environment. Likewise, if you are a school leader or educator, the way that you design your learning or delivery your lesson, to think about how you can move beyond providing content, but to embed content with projects and opportunity to experiment with real-world situation. So combining with that, the learner will have more opportunity to reinforce their learning as well as to make a decision to know that whether this skill that they have learned can be generalized or transferred to different scenarios.
Anita is an ELT and ICT principal consultant and trainer who has vast experience in coaching and training. So with over 24 years of teaching English in Malaysia and the UK, she has taught secondary school students, university undergraduates, postgraduates, teacher trainees, and hosted corporate training workshops. She is currently managing Megabase Education Network, has a team of online digital marketers promoting educational software and products for postgraduates and researchers. So Anita is also the founder and admin of an academic support group for postgraduate students on Facebook.
Social media is now becoming a place for lifelong learners to come and do, ask questions, get connected. If they have any doubts, anything that they want to ask, they simply come to Facebook. Learning does not just happen inside a formal institution, but it has now become embedded in our daily life. And especially when you do it in social media, one candidate from University of Malaysia, Sabah, he managed to pass his Viva on a COVID bed. Can you imagine? So that gave us so much when he came to DSG and said, thank you so much, DSG. I keep my motivation by visiting the group every day, and now I am already a doctor. And this data is very important to us, because in order for us to understand, the kind of lifelong learners that we are helping, right? And also we've got, it's very interesting to see that 18 years old to 24, which is undergraduate, who are also part of this group, right? Because they say, oh, we want to further our masters later on. I believe that this program has actually helped us to be more focused in terms of understanding what do we do with community building in a huge social media like Facebook.
Collaboration within the community or between communities. So for example, your group and what Fiona is connecting you with, or even now that we know each other, perhaps we can also reach out to our own network to find out the people who are of similar interests. I think bringing people together, and that will be the first step. Then the second step, in my opinion, in terms of lifelong learning, starting something, is to have a diagnostic service. Because everyone wants to know where are they in the either in their stage of life or in their career. So we want to maximize the time that we spend for learning. And the third thing would be what kind of learning experience we want to offer to people. This new way of learning beyond just social media. People are talking about the metaverse. Using AR and VR. How do you see this becoming more relevant, and are you also exploring going that pathway?
Yes, we can do this, but it has to be moderated some way, right? It can't be all the way sitting in front of the computer with your VR tools and do learning in metaverse and not interacting socially outside. It will do damaging things, to your physical being. So very interesting, Maylin. They are actually setting up. So for example, if Singapore Institute of Management wants to have your spot in Metaverse, you can actually apply. So just to have a flavor, for example, if you want to do it, then you can join. But if you prefer the physical one, then, you do outside. But I think it's a very exciting thing. However, try it with caution. Because human being is still social interaction, so we need a normal life as well.
I would like to say that when you design a flexible learning program, you must be mindful about what is the degree of flexibility that you're offering people. So there is still structure, but giving people some options, maybe 3 options or 3 different experiences, not 20 or 50, right? Then it will be too overwhelming.
And I totally agree with Maylin that it has to be guided. You can self-learn, however, you need to know what is it that you want to do and where will it bring you to. Is it okay if I ask Maylin a question?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I want to ask is, what's the best way, to set up a lifelong learning institution, for example? Yes.